here with Janet at the San Diego. I'm here with Janet at the San Diego Zoo. Well, how old is the baby wallaby?
I was just going to explain about birth dates with marsupials a little different than other placental mammals because marsupials are born so altricial or unformed. They're only about the size of a kidney bean when they're born outside of the mother's body. They crawl from the cloaca into the mother's pouch where they attach onto one of her 4 teats, and they permanently sort of embed themselves on that teat, and they continue to develop outside of the womb. What happens is when they're first born, they don't really resemble the adult at all. They're hairless, their eyes and ears are sealed shut, even most of the portion of the mouth is shut, and so they almost resemble an embryo when they're born. They love the pouch environment, but once they're out, they may just stay out for a short period of time and then jump right back in. And that's kind of where this baby, hand-reared baby that we have here in the nursery is right now.
Why did you have to do an artificial pouch? Is her mom not available?
In the morning of July 7th, so we've had this little baby almost 3 months.
Wow.
One of the keepers on the morning check discovered a little tiny hairless Joey laying in the dirt, cold and bruised, and she picked the baby up and immediately transferred it to our Jennings Center for Zoological Medicine, where our veterinarians cleaned her up, stabilized her, warmed her up, gave her some fluids and antibiotics, and then transferred her to the nursery here for assisted care.
Wow.
So she has basically had to finish her development outside of her mother's body in an artificial pouch that we have created for her. Now these pouches are designed specifically for marsupials and macropods. The little pattern of how we make them and exactly how they're constructed comes from Australia, from the Melbourne Zoo, where they do hand rear lots of marsupials like little Tinka that we're raising here now.
And Tinka is her name?
Her name is Tinka. It's an Aboriginal name. It's a girl's name for meaning. The meaning is for daylight or the light of day.
Oh, okay.
Halfway out of her incubator environment, where this incubator is heated to a certain temperature, it has high humidity so that we can keep her warm and moist. And then you can see that little cord that stretches across. That's where we hang her artificial pouch. So these artificial pouches are made very specially. This is the small size pouch. It's lined with a special outing cotton flannel which wicks moisture away from the body. And you can see that there are no seams inside this pouch, no salvage, has no nap on it, nothing that you can pull free. That's because these animals lick and knit, and they can pull a string from a fuzzy blanket and ingest it, and it can cause problems. We zip the pouch up like this, and then we hang the pouch inside of the incubator like this, with a little peephole so that they can look out if they want to. And this kind of simulates the pouch environment. So you've got moisture, you have heat, and they have very, very sensitive skin. When they're born, they're as naked as we are. There's no hair on the skin at all, and it's very sensitive, so it allows us to maintain their skin properly.
Oh, great.
So now we're keeping her in a small box cage, and she has her little pouch in the corner.
Oh, there
she is. How we hang her up. Now you can see that her body now is fully furred. She's no longer naked. Her skin, therefore, is more protected than it was when she was younger, and she's free to hop in and out of her pouch as she'd like to. And she knows how to get back on. She'll separate the fabric, and she'll take a dive back into her pouch when she feels insecure.
Now, listening to your voice, don't you think she knows it's time to eat? She seems
she definitely
excited.
Knows who we are. Yeah, she's excited, and she knows who we are. She knows that we've come, to interact with her. So what we do when we want to encourage her to exit the pouch is we unzip. Well, she's doing it on her own now. But we can unzip the pouch and have her come out and play for a little bit. She can jump around and look around. We also take her out to the main exhibit where the other Parma Wallabies live. And we give her sunshine and exercise each day.
How much does she weigh now?
This morning she weighed about 321 grams, and that's only a third of what she should weigh at this gestational age. We think that the mother's poor health may have had something to do with the fact that she was born very small.
Is the mother still alive? Or?
The mother, unfortunately, very shortly after we found this baby, the mother had to be euthanized. She was very ill. She had a long-standing kind of a wasting illness, and we did euthanize her after that. So we sort of are suspecting that the mother's milk was insufficient either in quality or quantity, and that's why little Tinka was rejected, and also why she was so small when she was born. However, she was only about 18% of what she should have been when we got her, and she's up to 28%.
Oh, great.
So she is experiencing some compensatory growth, which means she's compensating. She may very well be a normal-sized wallaby, or she may always be somewhat small for her species. But we don't see any other deficit at all. She seems intelligent, she's aware, all of her other developmental markers are right on schedule, so she looks like a very healthy animal.
And then how long will she, does she have to achieve a certain weight or size to be able to live in the exhibit?
Yeah, that's a good question, because with an animal like Tinka, if you went by weight, obviously it would take a lot longer to get her into the group. So you go by certain developmental markers, and you can see Tinka right now. Her ears are no longer pinned. Her body is fully furred. She's jumping in and out of the pouch.
She's so cute.
That's what we call intermediate. So it's time to start introducing her now. We know that by her behavior and by those developmental markers. And we have selected a subset of females that are more gentle and probably a little more social, and those are the females that we will introduce Tinka to first.
Now, will those be anything like with the elephants, that like aunties will protect the baby, or wallabies at all like that they have aunties in the group?
Well, we always hope when we do rear assist an animal like this and get it back with a social group that there will be certain alliances that are made between some animals and the baby, and that's very likely to happen, that one of the females will take a special interest. Maybe it'll be a couple of the females. We hope so anyway, to foster those relationships that will help Tinka to get back into the larger group.
Okay.
Also, she knows that she's fed in her pouch, so I think she's ready for her bottle. Hi, Tinka. And this is home for Tinka. She really loves to be inside the pouch.
Right.
And she loves
Tinka.
She loves it when we interact with her inside the pouch. That's her favorite. She would really like it if you would cart her around like this all day.
Oh.
Substrate here, this the bottom of this cage is heated by a heating blanket. So she's not really totally able to thermal regulate outside of the pouch yet, and we're working on that. Over the coming weeks, we'll turn down the heat little by little so that she's really ready to be outside the pouch.
And Janet, since she was brought into she's developed this way, when she becomes pregnant, will she know instinctively what to do, or will she need extra assistance if and when she has babies?
Well, it's more likely that an animal like Tinka will have problems with her young, but it's not certain. Usually, if a female's going to reject their young, it's usually on the first birth. That's the most common. Primips or first-time moms sometimes don't really know how to handle a baby, but there's no reason to think that Tinka won't get good maternal care, give good maternal care, just because she didn't get fully raised inside her mother's pouch. We're hoping that the other wallabies will also help to socialize her. There's one gentle female, and they've let her into the back. And I think what we're going to do is take Tinka in with her and sit down with Tinka in her little pouch and open the pouch up, and then just let the two meet each other with supervision. So each time we do something different with an animal like this, we do it step by step and make sure that that step goes well. Well, I think any time an animal is reared by humans and then introduced into a social group, you do have to be careful that you make sure that you're protecting the youngster and that their needs are met. Without the care of a mother, they need to be well integrated and incrementally integrated before you just kind of step away. We have a blog about Tinka on the website, and I'm updating it about once a week or so, once every 2 weeks, to let everybody know what's going on with Tinka. She said, "Where's my bottle?" There she goes. So you can see how very tiny and narrow her palate still is. It's very small. And these guys have a very shallow suckling response. They don't really suck it all down quickly like some animals do.
Right. And you just have to kind of balance it for her.
Yeah, this nipple here is very soft, and it takes a while for her to suck all the formula out of it, because we want it to come out really slowly. If it comes out too fast, it can be risky. They can inhale the milk into their lungs.
Just like the human babies,
exactly.
right?
So you just want to be really careful. It's also sort of a behavioral thing. The suckling response is very comforting to the animal.
Right.
You don't want to rush your feeding. You want them to feel comfortable.
Right.
And have the bottle feeding a positive experience for them, too.
Right. Now, I'm sure you're careful, or would she ever need like burping like a human
Absolutely,
baby?
yeah. All animals need to be burped. They'll ingest air.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times Tinka is pretty quick to nurse the first part of the bottle, and then when she starts getting a little full, she'll slow down a little bit. Sometimes I'll change the nipple, and that'll help her to finish her bottle. But these guys are not the easiest animals to hand feed.
Right.
It's a little bit of a skill, a little bit of a trick to it, and each one of us has had to learn that. That's part of the great experience that we've gotten raising Tinka. You bounce up and down a little bit, and then you just wait. A lot of times it just takes a while for that air bubble to come to the top of the stomach area and then to be expelled.
And
so
do
you can
hear a
usually
little
feel
sound?
it.
Or
sometimes you can hear a sound, but sometimes you can feel it. My hand is right on her chest wall, so I can feel it.
Right. Well, she looks very content.
She's pretty happy right now. This is her happy time.
Okay, thank you for consenting to this interview, Tinka. At some point I realize you may have an agent. This is Terry Gardner for terrytravels.com from the San Diego Zoo.